Are you the type of person that's looking for something reliable to get you from point A to B, but also wants some utility to go with that? Well, the Honda HR-V has been that go-to car for many young adults and families for years now. It's like the CR-V, but just smaller and more affordable. But there's a new sheriff in town. Okay, I just always wanted to say that. Seriously though, today we're introducing you to the brand new Toyota Corolla Cross, another pint-sized SUV. And in this video, we're gonna show you how this Corolla Cross matches up with the real OG crossover, the HR-V. See what I did there? I'm a poet, don't even know it. These are two affordable SUVs, both under $30,000, but which will give you the biggest bang for your buck? But first, before you go any further, go ahead and hit like and subscribe so you can see all the rest of our videos. And if you want to sell your car, go to edmunds.com/sellmycar to get a cash offer today. Both the Honda HR-V and Toyota Corolla Cross fit into the same category, crossover SUVs, which is kind of like instead of getting the hamburger or salad for lunch, you get, let's say, a chicken Caesar wrap. Best of both worlds, it'll probably be a bit cheaper too. Like the chicken Caesar wrap, the HR-V has been around for years. It debuted in 2016 and was initially based on the Honda Fit hatchback, but that car is no longer in production. Now, 7 model years later, this is an all-new 2023 HR-V that's grown in almost every way. Usually for these videos, I'd start in the front and work my way to the back. Scratch that, today I'm starting where it counts for this car, right here. The new HR-V's cargo area is similar to the previous models with just over 24 cubic feet of storage space. The rear seats are able to fold completely flat for larger items that more than doubles the space you have. Cue the sad tune because the HR-V's famous old special storage trick, the magic seat, that allowed you to flip up the rear seats to store tall items on the floor, well, it's now gone. Womp womp. That said, these seats are actually really easy to fold down. See? But what can it hold? That question got me thinking, what's something that we likely have all had to move, but hate doing it? An office chair. It fits, and I still hate freaking doing it. Getting into this car, I immediately noticed the elevated interior from previous versions. I think it's really the stitching that does it. It gives it a hint, all right, maybe that's too generous, maybe a splash of luxury. But while it is an upgrade for HR-Vs, it's still a bit one note for me personally. Sitting in this driver's seat, listen, I cannot lie to you, I really do not like these seats. It is so uncomfortable, it's so stiff, it feels like I'm sitting on a rock. But what I do appreciate is the adjustability of this seat. I'm able to move the wheel and the seat to fit my height, which I'm 5'4", so being short, it always is a plus when someone is considerate of the fact that we like to be close to the wheel. As far as storage up here in the front goes, you've got this center console that's decent, but not overly huge. That said, Honda makes up for it with the side pockets in both the back and front. Unfortunately, ladies, there's nowhere to really put your purse, so it's either going on the seat or on the floor. But what I'm absolutely in love with are these USB ports right in front. We've got 3 of them here, so I've got one for me, one for my friend, and I don't know, one for just the hell of it. That is crazy convenient. A central infotainment display is at the top of the dash. It comes with a 7-inch screen, which is pretty standard. In this EXL trim, it's 9 inches. This touchscreen is actually pretty easy to get around. This is really responsive. It's not laggy at all. It's getting me to where I need to. I'm able to scroll up and scroll down. I have no complaints here, honestly. Driving around myself, I actually found that it was pretty easy to go from the radio to my smartphone, which brings me to yet another segue. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, so using your smartphone shouldn't be an issue. FYI, if you want wireless CarPlay, you're gonna have to get the EXL because that's the only one that will allow you to do it. A downside, the HR-V does not offer an integrated navigation system, so you'll be out of luck if you venture off the beaten path in an area without cell service. Okay, so the seats back here, similar to the front, unfortunately are a bit stiff. I like the comfort a little bit better. Stiff overall. However, they do have a nice lean to it, and you got a little room up here, so it's good for headspace and decent leg room as well. So that kind of makes up for the stiffness in the seats, I'd say. Now, I fangirled over those USB ports in the front. Unfortunately, they left them out in the back. There are 0 USB ports back here, which kind of sucks because your passengers, if anybody wants to charge their phone or hook up, you gotta reach all the way to the front to do that. So that's kind of a bummer. Another bummer is where I'm gonna put my drink. Where is it gonna go? Yes, there are cup holders, but they're on the doors. They're kind of tight and they're pretty low. So really, all you can really fit in there is a water bottle. If your coffee mug's with you, no luck getting it in this cup holder here. I'd also really love to have a cup holder by my armrest in the middle, but there's nothing here. So I don't have a cup holder, I don't have an armrest. If I want to go to sleep during the road trip, I'm either laying on somebody's shoulder or I'm laying on the window and putting on my hair care products on that. All right, I'm hooked up. Let's get on the road. Driving in the HR-V, there are a lot of things that are new in this car, including an updated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which gets a slight bump in power and torque from the previous generation. And you can feel it. Like, I can feel it while I drive. Acceleration is decently smooth, it's just not quick. That said, it is decently fuel efficient with an EPA estimated 28 mpg. Not bad. This updated model, they definitely were a lot more thoughtful in making the ride more composed and more put together. It's definitely less bumpy than before. So it's gonna do a much better job at soaking up potholes and likely gonna give you a better driving experience overall. So visibility is actually pretty good for me in my driving position. It's not like it's a big car or anything, but the reality is I can see around in my surroundings pretty well. Since there's not a lot of power, you really have to push on the throttle to get up to speed, and in doing so, it creates a sound. Now, I'm not saying it's an offensively loud sound, but you can definitely hear it, and it's not that great of a sound. Overall, I think my biggest gripe with this car is in the steering. It's just pretty vague. It's just not precise. It feels a little loose. So I'm giving it inputs. I'm going right. Yes. I'm going left. Yes. Those things are working, but it just lacks precision that I would want as a driver to feel confident. So look, this car is definitely going to get you from A to B. It's going to provide you with utility, but it's not going to blow your mind when it comes to the driving experience. Honda has led the way in the crossover space, and finally, Toyota has gotten their game plan together with this 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. Now, we thought it was going to happen a little sooner, but I digress. This Corolla Cross fills a small gap in Toyota's crossover lineup between the larger RAV4 and the CHR Subcompact. As the name implies, it's related to the Corolla sedan and the hatchback. Off the rip, this Corolla Cross has a bit more cargo space than the HR-V, starting with a little over 25 cubic feet. That's for the front-wheel drive version. You get a smidge less with all-wheel drive. This has a higher load floor, so there we go. Oh, okay, she's in there. automated tailgate, which the HRV doesn't have. And she fit. Why did I decide to do an office chair? It hurt. Right off the bat, these seats are so much better. It's like night and day from the HRV. It's comfortable. It feels like how it should feel, just with cushion. So I'm really thankful to be sitting in this Cross. Also, it's adjustable just like the HRV, so I'm able to get my position perfect for my driving. Now, when it comes to the overall look, it's got this basic kind of look to it in here. That's like bare bones. It's like whatever you basically need in a car, that's what you're getting and nothing more. The HRV steps it up a little bit when it comes to style. But on the upside, there are air vents back here. So that's something that the HRV doesn't have. The storage up here is, it's fair. I have a place to put my phone, maybe a couple drinks, maybe some small items, but other than that, it's pretty basic. And once again, ladies, there's no place to put your purse, so it's either going on the floor or on the seat. The center console is not very spacious. The HRV's is definitely deeper. Let's talk tech. So even in the base level trim, you're gonna get just about everything you need in Toyota's Safety Sense 2.0, which are things like adaptive cruise control, lane departure alerts, and so much more. This top trim XLE comes with an 8-inch screen, just 1 inch less than the top trim HRV. But like the HRV, the lower trims come with a 7-inch screen as standard. While we know Toyota's touchscreens aren't usually cutting edge, this actually I don't mind. It's pretty easy to get around, pretty functional. Like the HRV, it also lacks an onboard navigation system, but it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, so you can hook up your smartphone pretty easy. Unfortunately, in the Corolla Cross, it's wired only. There's no wireless option. Unlike the HRV, this only has one USB port here and a wireless charging pad, but it also has 2 USB ports in the back, which I thought was pretty thoughtful of them. The back seats in this Cross match the front seat of the driver. There's comfort here. I feel like I could lay down and take a nap. So the headroom in here is decent, very similar to the HRV. The legroom, it lacks just a little bit. If you have a taller passenger, it might be a little tough on the legroom, but the headroom's gonna be solid. What's a bummer is the position of the seat is actually really upright. So I feel like I need to sit like a soldier. Not really feeling that. However, 2 USB ports back here. If your passengers are riding, they can charge up. It's super convenient. Also, cup holders. Unlike in the HRV, the cup holders are in a better position. And also, the dope thing about the back seat here, an armrest. I mean, duh. It kind of makes sense, right? Why the HRV doesn't have this? Who knows? And I've got 2 cup holders here. So I've got cup holders on the doors, cup holders here, an armrest. Look, I'm ready for a road trip, so I don't know what you're waiting for. All right, driving in the Corolla Cross, the very first thing that sticks out to me is this steering. It's precise, it's smooth. I'm pleased with this right off the bat. That said, the engine is pretty comparable to the HRV. Nothing really exciting, not gonna have the speed. The acceleration seems to lag here quite a bit. All right, here we go. I'm putting my foot on the gas. Now it's accelerating. That's so delayed. I have noticed the lag everywhere I've driven this car. I did a U-turn out of my apartment just to come here, and I put on the gas and a car was coming and I'm like, let's go, car. It's slow with the acceleration. It's really slow. That said, this is a little bit more fuel efficient than the HRV. Visibility in this car is decent. It's nice. I can see just about everything around me. Very similar to the HRV. No complaints really here for that. So yes, it has better steering. It has better seats. It has better MPG, but I would recommend you definitely do a test ride before you buy it, just to make sure you're okay with that acceleration lag. Corolla Cross has a very carefree vibe, catering to easygoing people. And the HR-V does the same thing. In the end, the Corolla Cross was built in direct competition with the HR-V, but because it's slightly roomier, slightly quieter, and the interior is a bit more elevated, the HR-V ekes out the win by 0.1 in our ratings with a 7.5. The reality is, they're both well-rounded cars that make trade-offs in different areas. That was a lot of talking. Worked up an appetite. Wish I had that chicken wrap. Clutch. All right, I'm gonna go smash this. Let me know what you think of these two in the comments below. I'll see you next time.